I go by the name of Lord Digga, the microphone mutilator, formerly of the group Master Ace Incorporated. It was just like a vibe, like my love of music. I think it came from like probably my family, where we just love music, period. So, once I got to New York City, I just, just went with it. Like, yo, whatever. Like, I wanted to be involved in the studio. I wanted to learn how, the inner workings of it before I actually became an artist. So it, coming to New York really, it influenced me more. Like, to be that close to it where you could reach out and like actually see and touch people. And once that happened, it just, it just took off. Like, I went from, sitting on the couch watching Soul Train to being on Soul Train, but hard work though, determination. It wasn't, it's not as easy as people think. You have to have, I think, a soul. Like, you gotta have a feeling for it. And I think that those people are the most successful. I couldn't imagine when I first embarked on doing it that this would have happened. Like, because you think, it's hundreds of rappers, it's hundreds of producers. I mean, you never see them, they never make the light of day. So for everything to line up the way it did, I don't know. I guess I want to say luck, but luck mixed with a little bit of hard work. Actually, like being in the studio with like Big Daddy Kane, like, being that I was involved with Ace, he was, this is the times that he was still on Cold Chillin' that we, I used to go to some of the studio sessions, and I actually went to the studio called Libra Digital on Steinway in Queens. I'll never forget it. And Kane was there and shit, and he was leaving out. But just to actually, for him to acknowledge me, like, the shit was like crazy to me. It was like, oh shit, that's like Big Daddy Kane. Like, oh, that's crazy. And that's like one of my, that is my favorite. I'm gonna say one of my favorite. That's like my favorite artist ever. And that shit was a wild moment for me. And it seemed like, yo, you could be on the right track right now. Even with just that little situation where he just acknowledged me and just, gave me a fucking dap and said, yo, what up? To me, I felt that at that time I was on my way. I'm probably the only, like, platinum producer that never had any fucking studio equipment. Never. I went to people's houses to make tracks. My homeboy Ezo, shout out to Big Ezo. I went to his house in his basement, and I went to Norm's house, Witch Dog. I used to jump on the train with records. I used to pre-select. I used to have a record player, like one of those fucking shits or whatever. I used to play the records and listen and mark shit, but as far as studio equipment, I never had a beat machine. I never had a fucking keyboard. Nothing. Ever. Not even a Boss 808 drum machine. Never. I went to other people's houses to make music. I had the fucking money. After we did what we did, I had the money to buy equipment, and I never did. I just kept going to Norm's house, kept going to Ezo's house, kept going to people's houses. I never bought equipment. Now that's one for you right there. Tell me anybody could have ever done that. They didn't like it at all. My mother fucking hated me because I left college. I had a scholarship, played football. I came home basically for the summer, and that's how I ended up getting a job at ASCAP, and I never went back to school, and my mother hated it. And she didn't pay one fucking dime for me to go to school, and she hated it. She was like, oh man, she was against the music shit. Like, totally. Like, the support was like, wow, like a training bra. It was like no support, like for real. I kid you not. But after a while, she came around. But yeah, it wasn't they didn't like it. People in my family were like, what the fuck are you doing? You leave school and this is what you wanted to play football and shit like that, and you leave school to do music? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, but obviously I knew what I was doing. Like now, trying to stay relevant, man. Like, just, it's a challenge, man. It's hard and struggles. I'm a fucking struggling artist, even though I've had success. It's hard, man. It's something that you really want to do and have a passion for. It's hard to try to, in these times when things is not moving the way it was moving and you're not making the money that you were making. It's hard. It's a big fucking hurdle. And but the whole thing is with me is that I know that I still have something to give. So with that being the motivation for it all, I kind of look past sometimes the hardships and shit and just be like, oh look, something's gonna happen where something's gonna open up and you're gonna be able to do what you gotta do and take care of everything you gotta take care of the way you wanna do it. But that's definitely an obstacle, and it's been, you know, times where I was like, damn, man, maybe I did make the fucking wrong move, but I look back and I'm like, I didn't make the wrong move. It's just the fact that shit changes and you got to be able to reinvent yourself to get to where you want to get now. And I'm not saying I'm just now learning it, it's just that I'm just willing now to accept it. Before I wasn't accepting it, but now I'm willing to accept it and know what I have to do to get to where I got to go. So playing a bigger role in the Biggie situation than what people really know. Like, you know, what was said was, you know, Mr. C, you know, helped him get to where he got, but what was left out is that I actually pushed that shit forward. And it just, to me, just to know that that situation happened the way it happened, I know the real ins and outs of how it happened, that was good enough for me. You know, to know that I really did help someone become a star, like really, really a big fucking phenomenon in this music industry. That was good enough for me. That was like a inside joyful fucking feeling to say, okay, yeah, I know, yeah, I had a bigger role in this situation than what people think. Well, I can give you the story like how that remix almost didn't come about, the Brooklyn Zoo remix, where the shit was funny because Dante had originally wanted another track, and I wanted the track that eventually became the Brooklyn Zoo remix. So what I fucking did was I adjusted the speed on the SB1200 to make it play one beat behind, so it looked like the track wouldn't sync up with the vocals, which he didn't know. So I purposely fucked it up for him now to say, all right, well, the other track, I guess we just have to use that one. Does that one sync up? So he got, you know, kind of like, yo, let's just get on with this already. And then I ended up using what I really wanted to use. Sorry, Dante. When I say certain shit, I'm speaking as a fan first, not even as an artist. So I always want people to know that as a fan, I felt I want to always give them something. Like, it was never some shit that when I put it out, it was whack. Like, he was like, I don't want to hear from this motherfucker no more. Like, get the fuck out of here. So my legacy, I definitely want to be, you know, remembered as like, yo, when he did put out something, whether it was 15 years from now, it was fucking good. Like, everything I touched, it was good. It wasn't nothing that you could say, oh shit, oh, that's kind of suspect. I don't really want to listen to that. Like, oh, you're cringing in your seats. Like, this shit he just did, I don't really like it. I want to always put something out that, you know, is memorable and people say, yo, I like it.